Hey guys, I just moved to a new place here in Korea and I also just bought this camera that I'm filming on, which is the Osmo Pocket 3. And I thought, let's explore my neighborhood together and at the same time check out this camera and see how it performs. So I hope you enjoy this video and let's get started. So guys, this is my new office. You know, I have my standing desk in front of a massive window which looks out at the ocean. You know, back until the horizon, all you can see is ocean. And I haven't even taken a walk in this neighborhood before, so I'm really excited to see what I can find here. You know, there's this kind of circly thing which looks nice. There's a park behind it. And you know, of course, there's the ocean. I'm not really sure if I can even get there, but I'm really excited to just check it out and see what we can find. Filming out of my window now, I can see there's like a kind of common area there. And there's another one down there, kind of nested between the buildings. So I don't even know if I can go there, but I'll try to figure it out. Guys, I always get surprised by how big my building is. You know, I'm on the 20th floor and, oh, the elevator arrived. But if you look back here, it's a really long hallway and there's a door and then there's more hallways. But anyways, let's go to the first floor and check it out. So far, I really like this camera for filming myself. It's working really well, it's convenient and it's tiny. Let's see how it performs outside. Alright guys, I just got outside. To be honest, I'm not even sure which side I was leaving through. There's just like an empty field here. I guess at some point they're gonna put some more buildings here. But this is my building. It's pretty huge. But I'm just gonna start heading in this direction because I've been here before. There's a somewhat bigger street that way. Or maybe we could check out here. There's some nice sun and I think this is still like the middle of the building that I live in. Let me switch the camera. It's a bit windy, so my hair is going crazy. It's 17 degrees and it's a really nice day. And right now it's super windy here, so I'm curious if you can even still hear me well. That's actually quite good for my test. I really can't handle this wind though. You know, I just checked the footage to see if the wind is too much of a problem, but I thought it sounded quite good. Now I tried attaching the camera to my cap, which maybe doesn't look too good, but I just wanted to see if you can still hear me if I do it like that. And I just wanted to emphasize that it's been really quite windy, and yeah, the footage sounded great, so curious what it sounds like now. Yeah, I'm just gonna try to see what my new neighborhood has to offer. Usually I like to find a nice coffee shop to study or work from, but right now I only have like a small backpack because I wanted to go light to take a little walk, and if I find a nice place then maybe I can go there next time, and depending on how often I'm gonna vlog, maybe I'm gonna take you with me. You know guys, I'm still quite new to this vlogging in public thing. But the good thing about this DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is that it's quite tiny and it doesn't really look like a camera too much. So of course if you see it close up you're gonna know that it's a camera. But before that I had like a gimbal also from DJI, like the Osmo Mobile I think. And yeah, if you attach your phone it's gonna be pretty obvious what you're doing. But this little thing, it's not big at all. I'd love to show you right now, but I cannot while I'm filming on it. Maybe I'm gonna find a mirror. But yeah, that's definitely one advantage, that it's not really looking like a camera, and it's also quite small, so you can put it away. This is the intersection in front of my house here in Korea. I think I'm just gonna take the path that turns green first, which is here. And I think I'm not that far from that park I was talking about, so I'm gonna check it out. There also weren't too many people, at least looking out from my window, So I think it's gonna be quite relaxing. So it might be good to decompress and relax after deep work. In the background, I think you can see my building. So I'm somewhere up there in the 20th floor. If you've never been to Korea, it's spring right now. I think it looks really nice here. It's much more green than I expected. Before I was living in front of the ocean also here in Busan, but it was more of a touristy area. But right now I am really enjoying that it's a little more calm. I haven't seen a single tourist here. I think most of the people who live here or come here are people working for Samsung, which you maybe know as Samsung or Samsung, or depending on where you're from. You know, it's a Korean company and they have a campus close to here. And yeah, as far as I know, many people that live here live close to their workplace and they don't want to commute too far, so that's why they're here. I really love how green this place is. And this one, you know, it reminds me a little bit of like Apple Park or something, because it's so spherical. But I think I actually went the wrong way. I should walk around to get inside the park. I think this street will just go along the street. It's been raining yesterday, but today is a really nice day. It's, as I said, 17 degrees, sunny. I really can't complain. It already lifted my mood a lot. You know, recently I have quite a lot of stuff on my plate and it's been quite stressful because there's so much to do. But right now, even though I'm like productive and filming my video for this week, it feels kind of like relaxing, which is nice. I'm also hoping to test out all the different features of this camera soon in this video. You know, right now I'm filming in 4K, 24 frames per second. Not because I know what I'm doing, but just because someone suggested that it looks quite good. I always thought like, okay, the more frames the better, but apparently not. Like 24 is what you see in movies in the cinema, and it has this nice motion blur effect that gets lost when you have like 60 frames a second or something. And then it just doesn't look as nice, I guess, but I'm gonna play around with it. You know, there's also different like color profiles on this thing. Right now I'm using the standard one, but I know there's like D-Log, which captures like a bigger range. I mean, the footage doesn't look that good out of the box, but it's supposed to be good for color grading, which I also don't know about. So today I'm taking it easy and I'm just getting the footage straight from the camera. I guess it's also good for a first review, but later I'm gonna try filming in D-Log and all of that kind of stuff and do some color grading. I guess it's all a journey and I'm gonna learn about it as I go. I don't need to go all out right away. I also just realized that I was looking at the screen the whole time and not the camera lens. So I guess that's one thing I have to learn as well. It's a bit deorienting to not look at the screen and see if everything is framed well. But I guess I'll get used to it. One pretty cool feature is that I can just double tap my face and now active track is enabled. And now it's always gonna keep my face in frame no matter where I move this thing. And now I can also stop looking at the screen and just look ahead, and no matter what I do, even though I can't see you right now, it should keep me in frame the whole time. So this is also quite cool. Like right now there's people walking past me, and if I hold the camera in my face, yeah, I kind of feel watched. So like this, maybe I can play it off like I'm just having a phone call and I'm holding this thing in my hand, which nobody knows is a camera anyways. But I guess that's also a me thing. Some people might be more comfortable. But yeah, I'm still at the beginning of my YouTube journey, so I guess I'm gonna get more comfortable over time anyways. If you've never been to Korea, you might also be interested in these things. You know, usually when there's a park or a lake, you have some workout machines. These work entirely without electricity. So here you can roll your back, I think. This one, you can turn it with your arms to get some stretches and mobility. This one, it will just move left and right when you stand on it, which always looks a bit goofy. These ones maybe you've seen. I know I've seen them in Germany. You know, you just kind of swing back and forth with both legs. And here's another one where you can turn. I guess it's for your lower back to get that stretch in. And here's also for mobility of your arms. So yeah, I think it's quite cool that they always have these kinds of things here in Korea to stay fit. I always see older people use it frequently. And one more thing which you might not know about Korea is that there's so many public toilets compared to Germany, where you can never find a toilet. If you're out, you always have to like go to a restaurant and beg them to let you go. But here you're never far from a toilet. I guess it's part of this public service thing. But what they don't have is trash bins. So if you have any trash, you're just gonna carry it around until you're home or somewhere. Very rarely you can see some public trash cans, for example in the subways or something, but usually it's not a thing. And that's something that you can always find in Germany, basically every 200 meters. I guess it's kind of a discipline thing that Germans don't want to carry it around and might just throw it on the floor, which is not the case here. So I guess I can show you this lake. I don't like that there's a fence around it, like they don't really trust us to not fall in. But you know, I can show you over the fence. Still pretty cool. So I just walked past a woman who was walking on this gravel road here barefoot. I guess it's good for your feet. So I really like the atmosphere in this park. It's very nice and calm. I don't like that they put the fence around the lake. It kind of destroys the feeling. But just for like a short walk to calm down, this is pretty cool. But I also definitely want to go to the ocean to see if I can get there. Maybe find a nice cafe, which can be my new default choice. But I first have to find my way to the ocean, because I actually don't even know which way I have to go. I also wanted to show you this thing in action. Somebody is using this workout machine. So I actually just came across these signs. And if you look at it, even if you don't speak Korean, I think it's pretty obvious that this is actually a path made for walking without shoes. You know, I commented on people walking here without shoes, and I thought it was their idea. But no, I guess it's specifically made for this. So maybe I'm gonna try this as well. This looks like a vacuum cleaner, maybe for your shoes. And here you also have some water to clean your feet. And you can even leave your shoes here. You know, Korea is super safe, so you don't have to worry about your stuff getting stolen. So I guess you can just come here, leave your shoes, and go for a walk. And now I'm actually thinking, if I'm the foreigner who doesn't understand the rules, who's walking here with shoes. So I'm not gonna do that for now. And maybe come back next time without shoes. But that's super interesting. You know, actually I want to go back, because I wanted to know how to get to the ocean. And I have to look at this map, because I'm trying to do it without my phone. So here you can see the map. You see this Hyunwiti, this red part. This is where I am right now. And this is the ocean. So there are some pretty big streets, and I don't think I can just cross them. So maybe if I'm lucky I can go around here, Or I can go here under this, under these two bridges, it looks like. I think that's a good plan. So since the ocean is that way, we have to go to the right and then go here, I guess. Which is not ideal because we come from there. I guess we could also go left and check it out. Okay, now I'm getting it. So this is the lake that we've been walking past. And this thing is quite a lot bigger than I thought. But maybe it's actually good to check it all out once. And there's gonna be some way to get to the ocean. And if not, we just walk back and we have a nice little workout. So on we go, I guess. So now I'm gonna walk on this wooden path and not on the barefoot path, because I'm not actually sure if I'm allowed to walk there. I guess it's not a big deal. It's not gonna be that clean, but better safe than sorry, I guess. And now I can just take a walk, have a talk, and lift the camera, just hold it comfortably, and I'll always be somewhat in frame. So if I turn the camera around and then I turn it back again, the tracking stops, which makes sense because it didn't see me for a while, but I thought maybe it can remember what it tracked before, but that doesn't seem to be the case. But it's also not a big deal, and also might not be what you want sometimes. So no problem there. You know, it actually kind of looks like this is the end of the park, but from the map we saw, I'm pretty sure that it kept going. So what I'm thinking is happening is that we have to cross the road here, and then the park kind of continues on the other side. It doesn't look that great, but I think we just have to get past this building, and then it's gonna get better again. So let's keep an open mind and see what it's gonna be like. You know, so far I've been holding this camera with the extension brick, which also works as a power bank or something like that. You know, there's some electricity in there and it keeps charging through the USB-C port. And there's also this tripod, I guess. So you can open it like this and put it down. But the cool thing is that if you close the tripod, it just works as like an extension handle. So that thing comes actually pretty much twice as large. So right now I'm holding just the base Osmo Pocket 3, and it's actually really small, which is nice in some ways, but also a little bit uncomfortable to handle. So let me clip back in the handle, and now it's much more comfortable. So if you're thinking about getting this camera, I got the Creator Combo, which also comes with this DJI microphone, which I guess you can tell the audio quality yourself right now. I'm actually not sure if the battery brick is included as well as the tripod, but I strongly recommend to go for the Creator Combo. It's actually not that much more expensive, but alone for the microphone it's already great. I took like a demo recording when I first got this thing, and I forgot to turn on the microphone, and it didn't sound that great, so it's definitely worth it. The microphone works amazingly well. You know, you just turn it on and it automatically connects. I never had to pair anything, so no issue there. And you know, it keeps recording even if you lose connection, so it has its own storage, which is pretty cool for peace of mind. Actually, I'm not sure if I have to enable that first. So I guess I'm gonna find out the first time it happens to me. And yeah, I think it has like a range of 200 meters, so I can walk away quite far from the camera and still keep it going. So this is quite cool for shots where I walk away quite far, and this microphone comes with me and you can still hear me just as well. I think I'm gonna give you like a demo recording of what it would sound like without the microphone, so you can make a better decision. So let me stop the recording and I'll be right back. So now I've just turned off the microphone and you're hearing the inbuilt microphone of the DJI. I always say DJI, it's the DJI, I guess. DJI Osmo Pocket 3. There's a little bit of a wind going right now, so I'm pretty sure you can hear quite the difference in the audio quality. Maybe it's still okay, but you know, for the small price you pay, you get that much better of a microphone audio quality, so just go for it. I just turned the microphone back on. You know, it connects within like 1 or 2 seconds. It's so seamless, so I really love this thing. I've never had this kind of clip-on mic. For me it was always like too professional. You know, I'm not a professional filmmaker, but I've dabbled with YouTube in the past, but I never had like any professional equipment. And I guess this thing is still like consumer grade. You know, there's so massive, expensive cameras, but they are also heavy to lug around and kind of cumbersome. And this one is so easy, and it has more than enough like image quality for my needs. So I think it's the perfect choice for me. I found a little bridge across the pond here, but I'm actually not sure if that's where I want to go. You know, I can check it out, but the park continues there. It kind of looks like there's wait, can I zoom with this thing? 2x is the maximum, it seems, but maybe that's also related to the resolution. Maybe that doesn't make sense, but let me figure out how to zoom back out again. Okay, so doesn't seem to be a whole lot going on here, but it cannot hurt to check it out anyway. There seems to be some kind of sports center there. I can see a guy with like a tennis bat, or is it a tennis rack? Okay, this river is nothing special, but now I'm curious, like below this highway there's like some kind of sports center, so we can check it out and then keep going. Yep, I was right. Here is like a couple of tennis fields. I'm not really sure if you have to be a part of some kind of club to get in there, but I'm also not a tennis player anyway, so I might have to find a new gym here after moving. But I also just bought like a barbell for home workouts, and maybe that's just enough for me for now. The cool thing about gyms here in Korea is that you're not locked into these year-long contracts. So actually in Germany, when I signed up for a gym, they asked me to sign up for 2 years at least. And then they have lots of gyms all around Europe. So when you move, usually you can get out earlier if you live too far from the gym. But they are basically everywhere. So even if you move, there's a good chance you live in range of one of their gyms, and then they still don't let you quit. So here it's monthly and actually the same price. So it's just very comfortable. You can just try it out for a month, and if it's not for you, you can quit and come back later if you want. So that's pretty cool. You know, I really like this area. It's nice and green again. There's lots of spaces to hang out. Here you always have these wooden boards. You can have some picnic on them, or just lie down and relax. And here you have something for children, like a little playground. I'm not sure if I can check it out or if I'm too old. But yeah, it's nice to take a break here. Maybe it's a good time to try the tripod. So let me active track my face and then just put it down. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I can even walk around and I can see the camera is following me. So if I'm gonna explain what I'm doing in this video, I don't have to take care of the camera. And yeah, it's just gonna follow me. I'm not really sure how far it can follow me, so I'm gonna try walking around and see if it's doing its thing. So far it's quite good, but I think we're gonna hit the limits pretty soon. I think pretty much right now. And even if you go down, that's no issue either. So I think this thing is where... Okay, now you lost me. Here I am. Do you track me again? Okay, I guess I was too fast. One thing that a friend suggested was that I get like a magnetic mount, so I can connect it to any kind of magnetic surface really easily. Nothing like that around here, but for example at the playground I could easily connect it to one of these bars. I kind of want to go this way and show you a really nice looking coffee shop that I just spotted, and then come back around here to check out this park a little bit more. I'm just walking through the grass. It's really a summer feeling, which I love. So, making my way through these trees, I guess you can already see there's a rice dessert cafe, which I've never heard before. I wonder if this is optical zoom, by the way. If I zoom in, is the quality getting worse or is it okay? I mean, this is a whole vibe. It looks super nice and like a great place to relax. They have the windows open and everything. But honestly, I'm not sure if they're that interested in people taking out their MacBook and working there all day. So maybe it's more of a relaxation thing, not a getting work done thing. By the way, right now I'm gonna try to turn off this active track thing. So it might feel more natural to not have the camera perfectly follow me the whole time. I'm not sure. You can feel free to let me know what looks better. But it's definitely a little bit more effort to check the display, see if I'm in frame, and that kind of thing. So I think just for this peace of mind, I'm gonna turn it on for now, unless everybody says it's better the other way around. You know, I've lived close to an area that was also pretty much built for Samsung employees, and it was also nice like this. You can really tell they invested some money. It's super clean. People are just playing, hanging around, relaxing, which I didn't really have in my previous flat, which was so touristy. You know, they even have this kind of, I should know what to call it, you know, it's not a temple, but this like traditionally Asian looking thing here, which just looks so nice. And again, you can see people making use of these workout machines, which still look goofy, but are actually really nice. I'm just gonna try walking this way, but I think it's a dead end. I thought I could get to the ocean this way, but it doesn't seem that way. But maybe we can catch a glimpse over the bushes there. I'm sure there's some way to get to the ocean from here. So first of all, from here there's like a little river and a street in our way, so this is not gonna work, but I think maybe we can check out if we see any bridges around here. Doesn't look like it though. This way neither. So this way is actually the ocean, and this is, I think, a river. Like behind this street there's another river going into the ocean. So this is not the right way, but you know, we walked all this way. I think I just saw a worker using this river as a toilet, so I don't want to be caught filming him, so I'm just gonna keep walking and hopefully find some kind of bridge in that direction, and then maybe walk back home outside, like along the ocean and then come back home, which would be quite a nice tour as a first experience of my neighborhood. One thing that I do have to say is that this thing is just fun to use. So even if you ignore the audio quality, video quality, whatever, it's just so easy and it works well, it feels high quality, and it just makes me want to film more, which I guess is already a good reason to get this thing, to just be more active, try out different things, and maybe discover a new kind of content you want to make. You know, in the beginning you're starting with one niche, but that might not actually be what your channel will end up as. So it's good to try out different things. I don't know if you know this YouTuber that's been at it for like probably over a decade, maybe more. Eric Surf 6. It's like an American older guy living in Japan who's always trying out different foods, different Japanese foods, and you know, he's going to all these interesting vending machines, and he kind of takes you on a journey, like going out to get the food, then he maybe goes hiking up a mountain or something else, and then he just eats the food and ranks it. And I mean, it's such a kind of comfort content for me. You can just shut off your brain and just see some new stuff you haven't seen before. I mean, I've been in Japan before, but I actually haven't tried that much Japanese food because back then I was just 18 without a lot of money, and I tried to save all my money and then spent it all on like a Nintendo 3DS. If I would go again now, I would definitely invest more money in trying the food, which is of course a huge part of the culture. But just watching him, he's a fun guy. It's nice. So I'm thinking Korea might also be interesting to people. I think actually Korea is a lot less well known than Japan, although that's changing recently. But yeah, maybe it's interesting to just go to a Korean convenience store and grab some food and review it. You know, actually now that I'm here, I'm thinking, what's stopping me from doing that today? You know, there's convenience stores all around. I could just grab some stuff, go to the park or in front of the ocean and give it a try and maybe review it. The only problem is that I've already had lunch, so I'm not really hungry. But let's see how this day develops. I'm also still unsure if this video should be like highly edited or more of like a walking and talking kind of style with just cutting out the boring parts but nothing else. You know, recently, as I've told you, I'm so busy I might not even have time to put a lot of effort into editing. But it might also come across as more real, so, you know, anyways, you guys want to see the camera and not my editing, I guess. So now I've arrived at this street. There's a bridge over the street if you want to keep going that way. I think the park continues. But, you know, we want to get to the ocean, so this right here is the way to go. We can finally cross this small river, or what would you call it, like a stream. And there's a massive crossroads, and I can get on the other side. And then I think at the river that will end in the ocean. But we'll see that when we get there. You know, it's green right now, but it's already blinking, so I'm not sure if I'm allowed. But I'll just try to hurry across this street because there's no countdown, which there usually is. Okay, now it just turned red, but the bus let me go. But there's cars coming, so I think it's already red for me and I wasn't allowed to go. But he told me to go, so I went and I almost died, but I survived in the end. This is kind of like a fisher harbor thingy. I think these are like pretty worn down fishing boats. I've actually been to this cafe before. I'm not sure if you can see it. There's like one cafe back there with a view over the water and the mountains in the background. But we're trying to make our way to the ocean, which is this way. If you guys didn't know, I'm a big fan of swimming, so I really want to go to the beach and go swimming this summer. But I think there's no beach like in this direction towards the ocean. I think I would have to cross this bridge or some bridge down there and then head down there, and somewhere there is a beach where you're allowed to swim, but it's quite the distance, you know. But I also have my bike, so maybe it's not too bad. Could be kind of like a triathlon thing. I bike there, then I go swimming and I run back or something. But I'm gonna have to figure that out over time. It's super windy right now. We're now... Oh, I'm walking on the bike path. But this guy doesn't care. He's driving on the walking path. I guess the bike path isn't in the best condition here. I also wanted to see what the camera quality is like if you get really close. I really like these flowers, so I'm just gonna try to get close and see if it stays focused, if it looks nice. And we're gonna see what that footage turns out like. If I turn it too far, it's turning the whole video, and I'm not sure how it's gonna look like. But maybe you can tell by my arm if I do this. It's kind of keeping you perfectly steady, which is nice. But it kind of lost my active track, so let me refocus. Let's see if it can find my face. Okay. Here we have like a nice little piece of water, like a canal, and I love the greenery around, which you actually don't see that often in a lot of places in Korea. But it's nice here. I actually feel a little bit like I'm back in Germany because we have these kinds of you know, parks a lot. Well, this is cute. You can see on that stone there it says 행복마을, happy town. So I'm gonna have to check this out. Maybe there's something to see there. Not sure though. Did you know that the buses in Korea all have different color, and the color defines like what kind of bus it is? I might be wrong on this. I haven't taken a bus in a long time, to be honest. But I think the green bus is like the short distance bus with like a lot of stops, and the blue bus, like this one, it should stay in the same area but take you further, I think. And then the red bus actually leaves the area and takes you to a completely different one, like through a highway or something. At least that's what I remember, but I may be wrong. So actually I think we finished our round. If you look that way, you can see the apple donut again. At least that's what I'm gonna refer to it as for now, or starting from now, because it looks like this apple park, I guess. I'm really curious to know what it actually is. Must be some kind of museum or government building. I've been filming for a long time. If I had to guess, it would be like at least 1.5 hours of talking. And the problem is that I'm gonna have to comb through all of that footage to make a video out of this. You know, sometimes during recording I feel like, you know, what am I even talking about? I'm just talking about the most random stuff, and I'm not sure if anybody's gonna care or whatever. But then again, I'm thinking it doesn't matter. I'm just trying stuff out. If this video does well, good. If it doesn't, also fine. It's good to just stop overthinking stuff and just try stuff and see what works out. And maybe this will, and maybe it won't. And either way, I'm gonna do the next thing, and I'm gonna learn something. And I think one of the things that has helped me back for the longest time is overthinking this kind of stuff. Like, what are people gonna think? But also, it's not good enough, it's not worth doing, but doing anything is better than doing nothing. So, either way, at least I got used to this camera. I'm trying something new. I'm kind of starting to be more comfortable filming in public. And, something will develop from this. So I could actually go back home now. Oh, let me get that green light. It's only like 20 minutes until 4 p.m. already. So I should actually start getting some real work done. Not that this isn't work, but the kind of work I don't really want to do. So I think I'm gonna call it for this video for today. One more thing I wanted to mention now that I said it's almost 4 p.m. is that I love how sunny it is in Korea all the time. I mean, of course they have bad weather, but in Germany, especially in the winter, it's always super cloudy and kind of depressing, to be honest. And here, even in the middle of winter, you can have like a clear day with sun, so even if it's like a little bit cold, of course, you can still feel the sun on your skin and kind of not feel so depressed, I guess. So that's quite nice. Okay guys, to be honest, I'm just trying to find my way back home now. While I haven't seen the footage yet, I can just say that I really enjoy filming with this thing. It's very convenient, and I can also see that I still have like over 5 hours of footage left, even though I already recorded for like 2 hours on 4K resolution. I have a 256 gigabyte card, so that's quite good. And if I need more, I can just buy a second card. They became so cheap recently, I can just carry multiple of them. And the best thing is that I still have like 90% of my battery. And this is because I'm using the battery handle, which means that it's discharging that one first, and when it's empty, like it is now, it starts to use the actual camera battery. So I have quite a few hours to get footage, and I might even bring like an external battery to charge it more if I need more time. But actually, I think my voice will run out before that happens. I hope you enjoyed this little walk around my new neighborhood. I hope you got an impression of the video quality. I'm sure I could squeeze out a little bit higher quality if I film in a different mode and I do like some color correction and everything. But yeah, this is what the camera looks like out of the box with the standard settings, just changed to 4K. And yeah, let me know if you go for this camera. My impression is really positive. I don't regret it at all. I really feel like I'm gonna start recording more now. And yeah, it's just fun. So I guess that was it for this video. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm still at the beginning of my YouTube journey, so if you enjoyed it at all, please leave a like and maybe subscribe. And yeah, that was it. See you next week, and keep shipping.